we now open the floor to the media practitioners for any comments, questions, clarifications. You are free to direct your questions specific or just leave it open-ended.
As recently as yesterday, there was a lot of curiosity from outside of Grenada about the accessibility of tickets online. We've had people asking questions, you know, we're online, can I buy tickets? And I don't know what to tell them.
If I may take the lead on this one, I do not know of any ticket online. We do not have online ticket. What I know Grenadians who are coming in for the games, visitors who are coming in for the games have been doing is to make contact with someone in Grenada, to purchase a ticket for them and hold it. There have been a few persons who have wired in some money to the Olympic Committee office and said, here is my money wired, or I'm not too familiar with the whole card and thing, but they have done something and the money reached Grenada, and as such, their ticket is there waiting on them. But there is no online ticket per se.
And maybe at the rate tickets are going, you won't have to sell them online.
There won't be any online ticket for sale. That sounds definite.
All right. One final question. A couple of days ago, I came across a lady who was running like hell with her, dragging a little 4-year-old child behind her to get her tickets because she heard that the Bahamians had bought out a whole bunch of, a whole block of space down at the stadium, and she wanted to make sure that she and her son were able to get into the games. Are people from other islands, are other islands buying blocks of, seats?
Spectators from all islands have been wiring in, cashing in, doing something for money to reach Grenada. And tickets have been put aside waiting for them because they paid for it. So yes, the foreigners have been buying in blocks.
Yeah.
And we say in blocks here guardedly because outside of the finish line area, there is no numbered seat. So when we say in block, they might buy 25 tickets, but it doesn't mean that they would, when they come, they don't come together, they won't be seated together. The seats are not numbered. Your tickets are not numbered. Only if you're buying that finish line ticket is numbered. As a matter of fact, so difficult is there is no exit, but if you get up and go to the bar, you may lose your seat.
Numbered? That's what you said?
No, that is not what we said. The seats are not numbered.
The seats are not numbered. In total, how much persons are capable to be in the stadium for the games?
The stadium...
At one time?
The stadium can seat main stand, secondary stand, 2 bleachers, 7,926 persons, inclusive of the VIP area. Already the VIP area is taken care of. And there are 800 athletes, 200 plus officials, and another 500 visitors. So we're talking here about 13 to 1,500 folks coming from overseas to be part of or witness the games. 7,000, 1,500 from 7,000 leaves us Grenadian here with about 5,500 tickets to buy. There are local athletes that will be given, I suspect, a ticket for their mother or father to come. So they too will be seated. So the buying public, I think there's 5,300 tickets to go on sale for Grenadians because it will be only seating accommodation. The opening of the stadium, Kentucky relay, football, you may have seen people up and down the aisles. I can safely say that will be a no-no for CARIFTA, and the security forces will be enforcing that because it will affect our credibility, will affect our possibility of hosting other such major games.
Then Mr. Moses said that $3 million, I think, is required. Through sponsorship, has that money been raised, or is there still need for?
When we last checked, there was a shortfall of about $700,000 from the 3,000 budgeted and the thing. Am I correct?
I indicated that it's costing us almost $3 million. Our sources of finance, which we have just shared with you, include our sponsors, we are hopeful and expectant that Grenadians will purchase all the available tickets and have our stadium filled for all 6 sessions. If they do that, we'll come very close to breaking even. But there are opportunities still for sponsors to come on board. So for those potential sponsors who are in the audience here today and looking at TV, we still welcome and we still need your support. I think you will agree that it's critical and necessary that at the end of these games we can meet all our expenses. I have not known of any character game that has made a profit because it is viewed as a developmental meet, and the model has been close collaboration with key stakeholders, meaning the athletic fraternity, sponsors, and governments. And certainly we would like to ensure that in Grenada's case, we are able to execute a professionally run character games without any debt at the end of it. So we really take this opportunity to solicit the support of our Grenadian public, because your presence at the games will go a long way in ensuring that we run a financially successful games.
And my final question has to do with your sponsorship. To the back, I'm seeing drinks. We have Glenhead Water, we have Stamouth. I know we do have an issue with the branding rights and so at the games. Those sponsors, do they have exclusive or non-exclusive rights to the games?
They have exclusive rights. So no competing product will be allowed at the games. When I say competing, as Glenelg is a water sponsor, that will be the only water available at the games. And that's the model. Yeah.
Just let me mention here to the media so you could help us disseminate. The security of the games would be precise and particular. Every single patron entering the stadium will have to go through metal detector. Coolers are not allowed unless it can fit beneath the seat that you are sitting on. Regardless of age, the occupant of the seat must pay. In other words, we are selling seats at the stadium. In terms of ticket prices, I think we have that kind of locked down already.
Yeah, but there's one thing I wanted to say about ticket, because people don't understand a few little things. It's 6 sessions. So when session 1 is over, you have to vacate the premises. You cannot wait for session 2. So session 1, 9 to 12, session 2, except on the opening day when it begins at 3 o'clock, which is Saturday for the opening ceremonies, begins at 4 o'clock. So when you finish the morning session, all and sundry takes their departure, and we prepare for the afternoon session. So some people think that they can come in the morning and remain for the afternoon. So we need to ensure that people know we have 6 sessions. We have six morning session, afternoon session on day 1, the same thing for day 2 and day 3. It is important because when people come to buy tickets, they wonder why they have to buy the second ticket, because the first ticket, morning session, right? And when the morning session comes, you have to take a departure, go home for lunch, take a little break, and come back again. Next section, session 2, new ticket, different color.
Is that with the season ticket, it covers both games?
Yeah, the season ticket now, it covers the 6 sessions. The season ticket, that's why it's so good to get them.
Mr. Moses?
If I could just elaborate on that point. You may be wondering if, let's say for instance, I come from Sates to the morning session and I'm asked to vacate the stadium at 12:20 or 12:30, what do I do until the evening session begins? We are working with a number of entrepreneurs, and we are expected to have a series of tents on the outskirts of the car park where these entrepreneurs will be making available to the public a range of products, services, and some entertainment. So there will be things to do, including food. It's also instructive to know that we are following the IAAF rules and guidelines. And for instance, one of the requirements is that athletes should be arriving at about 2 hours before the start of the event. So if we're starting at 3 o'clock, say on Saturday, athletes are supposed to be there by 1:30. I'm saying that to indicate that there'll be lots of people around, so it's not going to be like a ghost town because the transition times are very short. So there'll be lots to do, a lot of interfacing with people. The officials are expected to be there 3 hours before, so there'll be a lot of people. It would not be, you know, an empty pavilion. And so people who come from afar, you will find enough activities, enough interaction to keep you busy during that period.
Mr. Moses, would you be able to tell me how much money in total you collected today?
I can't. Our Minister of Finance is not
Estimated
here.
cost.
For the sponsorship, you mean?
I suspect you mean from the sponsorship?
The sponsorship.
No, I can't. But except to let you know that there's been considerable amount of expenditure. We have received some of our sponsorship funds already, and that is helping us to ensure that all the inputs that are required for successful games are taken care of. But I can't give you a total at this point in time.
Not even an approximation.
No, but we have received, we have, for instance, made all our down payments to secure the hotels because, you know, Easter is a very competitive period and we had to do that early. And that is in excess of $500,000, so that will give you an idea. We have had some money, but I can't give you an indication of how much. Yes.
Somebody was asking about the cost for tickets, the season ticket, if they're still around, $75. Morning sessions are all $10. And the afternoon session, main pavilion, $25. Secondary pavilion, $20, and the bleachers, $15.
Let me just elaborate a bit on that before we go. Sorry, Mr. Bascom. The morning sessions, the general idea is that all patrons will be in the main stand for the morning sessions. We are not foreseeing 5,000 people for the morning session. So the main pavilion is where the morning sessions will accommodate. There is flow over, a flow over. And all morning sessions are $10. We should also stress that children, the children tickets are $10, regardless of where they sit. Children tickets are $10. Children, though, means that an 11-year-old who looks 16 or a 16-year-old who looks 11 will have to present some kind of ID to show their age. In other words, there's some obvious ages, but there are some 11-year-olds that might look 16 and the person might want to say, okay, no, he's bigger than 11. Please, if you have something to show that that person is in fact 11. This is why we are saying in advance that you should have something to show. And this is not just Grenada, this is the world. And if you are 16 and look 11, you still have something to show to.
All right, come to think about it, I think I will direct my question to Mr. Francis. For the arrival of the teams, give us a breakdown as to when the team arrives, what happens from the day they arrive on the airport in terms of immigration, security, training, as it likes. I know, for example, the Jamaicans usually will arrive 2-3 days before competition. What it is like in terms of teams' arrival. Do you have any idea?
Yeah. Just to say, the Jamaicans, over the last couple of CARIFTA games, they always reach very late in the night before the games. So, what really happens is that through the immigration will make it very easy for them to process. The whole process would be very easy, and they would then proceed to the accreditation center. The accreditation center would be located at the youth center, and that's where they pay the fees. We check the entries, and they get all the tickets, meal tickets, that kind of thing, the keys. Well, not really the keys, but then from there they move on to the hotel. The games begins on the 26th. So therefore, if a team arrives, the time slot for teams to arrive is the 24th. However, if any teams come before that, they will have to take care of their own accommodation and so on. But from the 24th, then we would arrange. We have already done the training schedule in terms of times that they would want to go to the stadium to train. So that is what will happen. There would be a schedule, a training schedule for the various teams so that they can go down to the stadium and the warm-up track and do their training before the 26th.
Talking about training schedule, can you explain the challenge or challenges the Grenada team is facing in terms of preparation as it relates to the availability of the national stadium, Mr. Francis?
Yeah. I think I spoke about that in my address, but unfortunately you arrived late. So I think I will do a one-on-one with you after.
Who in the panel is going to answer this question, but I'm very curious about the website. You know, a lot of people look at websites nowadays in search of information, and I noticed that, you know, we only have, 3 weeks to go before the games, and our website is lagging, and I was wondering how soon you guys would really have it up to snuff.
I'm surprised it's lacking.
Flip a coin.
But we will look into it. We have a meeting this afternoon,
Yeah.
and we will discuss it further there. But it was supposed to be up and running. Probably break
The site, no.
It is up and
We
running.
just don't have
The-
enough information.
You know, it's
Yes,
under construction.
we have somebody that will ask to put some more information on it for us.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's important. Updated information.
Yes, so Mr. Bascom will help us with the updated information. He's such a sweet guy when it comes to those things. Yes.
Well, not all of us are too website-ish. Well, you want to give us a slight idea of what might make it more updated? What kind of information we're looking for example?
You know, I know that a lot of islands have not yet selected their teams.
Yeah.
But if you can get statistics on the athletes who are going to be taking part, it would help. A lot of people out there are curious about stuff like that. Activities surrounding the games, the officials who are going to be involved in the games, who do you turn to? Any sort of information about the games would be of interest to people. I'd be willing to sit and talk with you privately.
You're quite correct. You may be aware that a number of Caribbean countries just held their CARIFTA trials only this weekend. So while we have preliminary information, the final information is yet to come in. Because like I said, Barbados just had, Trinidad just had over the last 2 days. So in the next 3 weeks, you'll see heightened level of information and activities. Yeah.
That's the problem.
We are winding down. More questions? Can I, on behalf of the LOC, ask one question? Is there anything that we are doing good so far? The media?
I'll tell you what I'm really impressed with.
Thank you.
I have to admit that I'm seeing some enthusiasm that I just haven't seen too much of in this country in a long time. You know, people like yourself, people like Aaron, Vida, Conrad, you guys seem pumped up about this. And I'm trying to figure out, you know, what the heck is the magic that somebody lit a torch in the oil or what? But, you know, they're excited about this. And I think that augurs very well for the games because there's a lot of interest out there in the public. Okay?
I am
So,
known for
hats off.
I'm known for speaking out of context. I think that's because it doesn't have any politics in it.
Yeah, yeah. And I hope you're right.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is life without a little humor? Yeah. We want to profoundly thank you all for coming here. Sponsors, we want to again thank you for your contributions. Without you, this could not have been the success we anticipate there would be. To the media, we want to thank you again for your coverage. And because I did some amount of freelance journalism studies, I know that you not only disseminate the negatives, but we look for the positives too, and we disseminate it as much as we can. And let's make this a Grenada event. Once again, thanks to everyone for coming.